Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, on May 5th, Trump is saying he is going to restart the collection of student loan debt. And this is controversial. This has been controversial for over a decade. And should we be doing this? The short answer is yes, we should be collecting the money. The long-term answer is it doesn't solve anything. This is not solving the problem of student loan debt. The reason it's controversial is because student loan debt is so debilitating to a lot of people. And the issue is a lot more nuanced than this stupid boomer comment I always see, where it's like, you took out a loan, pay it back. It's like, okay, your loan was thousands of times less expensive for a product that was higher quality and more scarce than it is now. So there is a serious problem with the student loans where the government is doing everything they can to encourage people to go to college. Our entire society encourages you to go to college, and then you get stuck with a bill and no job. So why is nobody talking about actual solutions to this? Because the people feel they've been cheated and they can't get a job, so they don't want to pay their loans back. That's understandable why they feel that way. The taxpayers who didn't go to college feel upset because they didn't get free college. They didn't go and they're paying for somebody else's. That's also understandable. But the real people, the only people who actually make out on this is the colleges themselves, who get tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that they really shouldn't be getting. And it's facilitated by the government. So if the government wanted to lower the student loan debt, the cost of college, which they always talk about doing, but there's very simple ways to do it. You basically have to do two things. One, the government just doesn't give out loans anymore. Shocker, you know. And they say, oh, well, then no one will be able to afford to go to college because no one will just have the money outright to pay for it. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point, is that when college attendance drops to 5% of what it was, because no one can pay for it outright, then the colleges will have to drop their numbers. You're basically, kind of forcing the colleges to lower their numbers because they won't be able to sustain themselves. It's better to get a piece of something than all of nothing. And the second part of that is you just say you're allowed to default on your student loans. You can file for bankruptcy on your student loans, which you can't do right now. You'll always have to pay them back. It's like the one thing that you can't default on. Well, just do that, because then the private banks will just say, well, we're not gonna give out a loan to somebody, either somebody irresponsible or just for not that much money. Yeah, we'll give you like $2,000 a year or something, but we're not going to give you the tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that it costs to go. They just won't do it. And so the colleges, because no one will be able to go after 1 year, the college's prices will come down literally hundreds or thousands of percent. That exact amount that they had increased over the last several decades, where it's gone up like more than 500% since the boomers went to college, it'll all come crashing down because no one will be able to go unless it drops down to, only, a couple $1,000s a year total. Like you see boomers still talking about how, oh, well, I work my way through college over the summer. It's like, yeah, that may buy my textbooks if I work all summer. That may cover half my rent for the year, but it won't cover the tuition. And so you can't have a system where people go into debt, decade-long debt, and then expect them to just be like okay with it, because the government is facilitating that. Like I said, the government is allowing the colleges to get away with it because the colleges, or the government promises a loan of $10,000, the college raises the tuition to $15,000. The government promises $15,000, the college raises tuition to $20,000. And it's just like, because the government has unlimited coffers, they're willing to give out loans for however much amount, basically, that the colleges raise their tuition. They raise it because they know people will pay. And that's why you're also seeing this massive decrease in people going to college, because they can't afford it, which is also not something we want. We don't want people to just not go to college and not get education and not be qualified to do things we want people to do, especially the jobs that we're going to need to have to compete with other countries. we can't just say like, oh, well, half the people who are planning to go to college, we'll just price them out for literally no reason except for the greed of the colleges, and then just say that's like an okay thing to do. So we got to do something. I would recommend those two things. Just don't give out loans, no governmental loans. And the private institutions, if you allow people to default on their college loans, they just won't give out loans. They'll give out very small loans. The colleges will be forced to then drop their prices. Then we won't even have to have this debate anymore about paying it back or student loans, because there won't even really be loans. People will be able to work to go to college. They might be able to take out a small loan. There, easy enough. Then everybody's happy. But we continue to shift the goalposts. And this is like kind of a microcosm for a lot of arguments we have now. It's like we shift the goalpost on what to do about the cascade of like the third problem that comes from the original problem. We start over here with like the original problem, and that causes this problem and this problem and this problem, and that's where we're fighting over. We're fighting over like, oh, well, the student loan repayment. It's like, okay, well, we should probably go back over here and deal with the original problem, which is college is ridiculously, absurdly expensive. And it's gotten ridiculously, absurdly expensive for no reason. So push it back, solve the first problem, then we won't even have to talk about the controversial thing. We won't even have to talk about the thing that makes half the country upset in one way or another, and where both sides actually kind of have a valid point. We can just totally ignore that. We can just totally ignore the argument completely if we just solve the original problem. So that's my thoughts on this. I think it needs to be considered, because this is not helping anything. This is just going to increase this age gap, basically animosity towards each other. Like the young people and the old people have animosity towards each other. It's very clear. You're going to kind of create a class war as well, which isn't good. All of that should be avoided, whether one side's totally in the right or whether both sides have a good point. It doesn't matter. You don't want massive conflicts between groups of people in your country. That doesn't lead to anything good ever. So you should go about solving it, especially when the solutions are fairly easy. And when the people affected is the fact that they won't be able to price gouge as much. Like that's the main consequence, is that universities won't be able to price gouge to that extent. Wow, crazy novel concept. So that's my thoughts on this. If you made it all the way through the video, I appreciate it. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.